Welcome to the dark and mysterious world of the occult. We'll be peeling back the veil on secret societies, ancient rituals, and esoteric symbols that have fascinated and frightened humanity for millennia. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Chaos magic is an unconventional and highly flexible form of modern occultism that emphasizes personal experimentation and the fluidity of belief systems. Emerging in the late 20th century, chaos magic gained momentum in the 1970s with key texts such as Liber Null by Peter J. Carroll and the Book of Results by Ray Sherwin. These works laid the foundation for a practice rooted in pragmatism and innovation, allowing practitioners to draw from a wide range of magical traditions and psychological techniques. One of the most fundamental tenets of chaos magic is the concept of belief as a tool. Unlike other magical traditions that require adherence to specific deities or rituals, chaos magicians view belief itself as something that can be shaped and manipulated to achieve desired outcomes. This approach allows for a level of flexibility and adaptability that is rare in more traditional forms of magic. By shifting beliefs, the practitioner can adopt new perspectives, experiment with different techniques, and ultimately create a system of magic that is uniquely their own. The practice of sigilization, popularized by artist and occultist Austin Osman Spare, is a central technique in chaos magic. Sigils are symbols crafted to represent a specific intention or desire. The process involves creating a sigil, charging it with emotional or psychic energy, and then allowing it to sink into the subconscious mind, where it can work its magic unnoticed by the conscious mind. Another critical concept in chaos magic is gnosis, a heightened state of consciousness that is believed to increase the practitioner's ability to influence reality. Gnosis can be achieved through a variety of means, including meditation, chanting, drumming, and even more extreme practices, such as sensory deprivation or physical exhaustion. The goal is to bypass the rational mind and reach a state where the magician's will can operate more freely. This mirrors techniques found in other mystical traditions, but is stripped of their religious or dogmatic frameworks, allowing the practitioner to remain untethered from any belief system. A defining feature of chaos magic is its embrace of paradigm shifting. Practitioners are encouraged to adopt and discard belief systems as necessary to achieve their magical goals. For instance, practitioners are encouraged to adopt completely different worldviews depending on something as simple as the roll of a set of dice. For instance, a certain roll could indicate that the practitioner adopts a Norse pagan worldview for 6 months. Another role, for instance, could have the same person adopting a Taoist worldview for the next 6 years. This process, often referred to as belief as a tool, allows the magician to use various cultural or psychological models to shape their reality. The fluidity with which chaos magicians shift their paradigms is both a strength and a source of controversy. Some critics argue that this approach lacks the ethical grounding found in more structured occult traditions. However, advocates of chaos magic argue that its adaptability is precisely what makes it effective in an era where rigid belief systems often fail to accommodate the complexities of modern life. Fundamentally, chaos magic is an occult system which rejects the existence of absolute truth and rejects the conclusions of all religious, spiritual, and occult traditions that came before it. Thelema, a spiritual philosophy established in the early 20th century by Aleister Crowley, revolves around the central tenet, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." This concept emphasizes personal freedom and the pursuit of one's unique path, or true will. Crowley, a famed English occultist, claimed that his belief system was divinely revealed to him in 1904 during an experience in Cairo, where he received the Book of the Law from an entity named Aiwass. This text became the cornerstone of Thelemic doctrine, laying out principles designed to guide humanity into a new era, what Crowley termed the Aeon of Horus, an age characterized by individualism. Thalima's core belief system is rooted in discovering and following the true will, which is essentially one's destiny or higher purpose in life. This idea isn't just about pursuing individual desires, but aligning oneself with the universal will, often referred to as the Great Work. The Great Work, adapted from earlier Hermetic and alchemical traditions, is the process of spiritual transformation, where one seeks to integrate unconscious parts of the self into a unified whole. For Thelemites, accomplishing the Great Work means realizing one's true will, which harmonizes personal desires with the larger cosmic order. Magic is central to Thelema, but it isn't about supernatural phenomena in the way it's often portrayed in pop culture. Instead, magic in Thelema is defined as the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. It's both a philosophical and practical discipline used to uncover the true will and enact changes in life that align with that purpose. Crowley incorporated various magical practices from Western esoteric traditions, including the Golden Dawn, as well as elements of yoga, meditation, and ceremonial rituals. Thelema also involves a complex pantheon of deities, many of which are drawn from ancient Egyptian religion. Key figures include Nuit, Hadit, and Ra-Hoor-Khuit. Nuit is the goddess of infinite space and possibilities, symbolized by the night sky, while Hadit, her consort, represents the point of concentrated energy and individual experience. Ra-Hoor-Khuit, a manifestation of the god Horus, symbolizes the dynamic, solar energy driving the universe. These deities can be viewed either as literal entities or as archetypes, representing aspects of the human psyche and the cosmos. While the Book of the Law is the central sacred text of Thelema, it's not the only one. Crowley wrote several other holy books of Thelema, each containing allegorical and symbolic teachings meant to guide adherents in their spiritual journey. These texts are often cryptic and require deep study and contemplation to understand fully. The Book of Lies, for example, is a collection of short essays and poems that explore various aspects of Thelemic philosophy and practice. Interpretation of these works is highly individualized, with each practitioner encouraged to find their own understanding through direct experience and reflection. Runic magic, with roots deeply tied to the ancient Germanic peoples, is a practice that blends symbolism, writing, and spirituality. The runes themselves, primarily from the Elder Futhark alphabet, were used as tools for invoking cosmic energies, divination, and spellcasting. Each rune carried distinct powers, and practitioners believed these symbols could shape reality. At the heart of runic magic lies the Elder Futhark, the oldest known runic alphabet, which consists of 24 characters and dates back to around the 2nd century AD. These runes are more than just letters. They are believed to be powerful archetypes representing forces of nature, deities, and cosmic principles. For example, the rune Fehu symbolizes wealth and abundance, often associated with the god Freyr, while Thurisaz invokes protection and is linked to Thor, the god of thunder. The use of these symbols went beyond writing. They were believed to hold real, transformative power when used in rituals or magical spells. Rune masters would inscribe runes on objects like weapons, tools, and amulets, imbuing them with protective or empowering energy. In Norse sagas, these rune spells are frequently mentioned. For example, in one tale, a hero uses runes to heal a sick young girl, showing the vital role of proper knowledge and mastery of rune crafting. However, poorly drawn runes could have dangerous or unintended effects, potentially even leading to fatal consequences. Rune magic wasn't limited to simple inscriptions. Bind runes, combinations of two or more runes into one symbol, were used to amplify magical intent. By merging runes that symbolized different energies, practitioners believed they could enhance the outcome of their spells. For instance, combining Tiwaz, symbolizing victory, and Sowilo, the sun, could create a powerful charm for triumph and clarity. Runes were also vocalized through chants known as Galder. The belief was that the sonic quality of each rune carried energy. By chanting the sounds of specific runes, individuals could tap into their spiritual power and alter their own mental and emotional states, or even affect the world around them. The power of words and their connection to reality was a central belief in Germanic magic, where speaking certain runes was seen as an act of creation itself. Some have speculated that runic magic played a role in the development of later sigil magic. Hey everyone, it's Jimmy here, just reminding you to like and subscribe and to hit the notification bell. Anyway, back to the video. Jack Parsons was a paradoxical figure who seemed to straddle the realms of science and the occult with an ease that bewildered many of his contemporaries, to put it mildly. And let's just say, I don't believe that any Occult Iceberg video could be complete without an entry on Parsons. Born Marvel Whiteside Parsons in 1914, he grew up in Pasadena, California, and quickly developed an interest in explosives and science fiction. This fascination would lead him to co-found the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, laying the foundation for modern American rocketry and all the organizations that followed. But what makes Parsons' story all the more intriguing is how his devotion to the mystical practices of Aleister Crowley coexisted with his scientific brilliance. Parsons' journey into rocketry began as a young man, experimenting with explosives in his backyard, and later joining a group of like-minded enthusiasts. This group conducted research at Caltech's Guggenheim Aeronautical Laboratory. Though initially dismissed as a fringe interest, Parsons and his colleagues made major breakthroughs in developing rocket propellants. During World War II, their efforts gained traction, leading to the formation of JPL, which eventually became an indispensable player in the American space program. At the same time Parsons was revolutionizing the field of rocketry, he was delving deeper into occultism. His introduction to Aleister Crowley's Thelema philosophy came in the early 1940s. He quickly rose through the ranks of the Ordo Templi Orientis, Crowley's magical order, and became the leader of its lodge in Pasadena. Parsons didn't just dabble in occultism, he fully embraced it. He saw no conflict between his rocket work and his occult beliefs. In fact, he viewed both as part of the same pursuit, to transcend earthly limitations, whether through technology or mysticism. This dual life of science and magic often led to scandal. Parsons would chant invocations to pagan deities before rocket tests, blending his professional work with his spiritual practices. His home, known as the Parsonage, became notorious for wild parties and occult rituals, attracting a mix of scientists, occultists, and science fiction writers. Parsons and company embarked on a series of rituals called the Babylon Working, intended to summon a divine entity called Babylon. Parsons believed these rituals would herald a new age of freedom and self-expression. Despite his brilliance, Parsons' personal life spiraled out of control. His involvement in the occult, combined with his reputation for debauchery, made him an increasingly problematic figure in the eyes of the establishment. By 1944, Parsons had been forced out of the JPL, and his rocketry career effectively ended. However, he remained committed to his magical pursuits, even as his financial situation worsened. The end of Parsons' life was as dramatic as the rest. In 1952, at the age of 37, he died in a mysterious explosion in his home laboratory while working on special effects for films. Some speculated it was intentional, others thought it might be a magical ritual gone wrong, or simply a tragic accident due to Parsons' careless handling of explosives. Parsons has the unique distinction of being recognized as both one of the leading American occultists and of being one of the leading figures in early American rocketry. Aleuromancy, or divination through the observation of cats, is an ancient practice that dates back to the times when felines were regarded as magical creatures. The word itself is derived from the Greek ailuros, meaning cat, reflecting how central these animals have been to mystical traditions. The method involves interpreting the movements, behaviors, and even the positions in which cats lie to forecast events, most notably weather changes or more personal insights into the future. One of the most popular beliefs linked to aleuromancy is the idea that a cat curling up with its head touching the ground portends a storm. Similarly, if a cat turns its tail toward a fire, it is said to forecast heavy rain or frost. A cat eating grass was also said to be linked to coming rains. These weather predictive behaviors were especially significant in times when people relied on natural signs for survival and planning. It's not just about where the cat lies or what it does. In some traditions, how a cat jumps and lands can be read to provide insights into future occurrences. Aleuromancy isn't merely about weather prediction, though much of the information I could find on the topic was. The cat's historical connection to mystical forces runs deep. In ancient Egypt, cats were revered, symbolizing protection and divine intervention. This association continued in later cultures, where cats, particularly black ones, were thought to be familiars of witches, further entwining them with the occult. Perhaps the most commonly known form of aleuromancy comes from the common belief that a black cat crossing one's path symbolizes good or bad luck, depending on the cultural context. The Testament of Solomon is a work traditionally attributed to King Solomon, renowned in biblical tradition for his wisdom and for constructing the first temple in Jerusalem. Likely composed between the 1st and 3rd centuries AD, it holds value in demonology, detailing Solomon's interactions with demons whom he compels to assist in building the temple. The narrative begins with Solomon receiving a magical ring from the archangel Michael, granted by God, empowering him to command demons. This ring, inscribed with the seal of Solomon, is central to his control over demonic entities. The text proceeds to catalog the demons summoned by Solomon, each possessing unique characteristics, origins, and the afflictions they impose upon humans. A primary role of the Testament in demonology is its comprehensive classification of demons. These entities are portrayed with intricate personalities and specific domains of influence. The Testament of Solomon integrates elements of Greek and Near Eastern mythology, reflecting a mixture of cultural and religious beliefs. For instance, the inclusion of figures like Ephippus, a wind demon from Arabian lore, and Obazuth, who is based on Medusa, reflects a blending of different demonological traditions. In addition to cataloging demons, the Testament offers insights into methods of exorcism and protection against demonic influences. Solomon's interactions with demons often culminate in the demons revealing the angels or rituals that can thwart them, providing practical guidance for readers. This aspect underscores the text's function not only as a narrative, but also as a manual for combating supposed demonic afflictions. The Testament of Solomon significantly influenced later medieval demonology and magical practices. Its themes and demon classifications appear in grimoires and occult texts throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. The concept of commanding demons through divine authority or magical means became a recurring motif in Western esoteric traditions. The Seal of Solomon itself evolved into a prominent symbol in magical iconography, representing the power to bind and control spiritual entities. In modern demonology, the Testament of Solomon remains a foundational text. It is studied not only for its historical significance, but also for its contributions to understanding ancient perceptions of evil and the supernatural. The nobody theory began gaining traction on 4chan around 2018, particularly on the X board, which is dedicated to paranormal discussions. Unlike many theories that focus on specific events or figures, the nobody theory is centered around a mysterious, nameless individual referred to as the nobody. According to the theory, nobody is an enlightened being who possesses deep, almost godlike wisdom and is aware of the true nature of reality. He is believed to be working behind the scenes to bring about significant changes in the world, although his exact motivations and methods are deliberately obscured. The identity of nobody is never revealed, adding to the allure and mystery of the theory. Proponents suggest that nobody could be absolutely anyone, and theories suggest this figure is much more likely to be the individual you would least expect. This figure is seen as both a savior and a disruptor, someone who will challenge the existing power structures, but also possess a moral compass that is beyond human understanding. One of the key reasons for the appeal of the nobody theory lies in its open-ended nature. Unlike more rigid theories, which tend to provide a clear narrative with identifiable villains and heroes, the nobody theory is vague and flexible. The anonymity and ambiguity of the nobody potentially resonates with the anonymous culture of the site and the board, where anonymity is a core principle. The structure of the theory relies heavily on cryptic posts and discussions, often laden with references to philosophy, esotericism, and occultism. The theory's roots also mean that it is often presented with a mix of irony and sincerity, making it difficult to discern whether proponents truly believe in the theory or are engaging in a form of modern myth-making. The nobody theory remains largely unknown outside the X board at present. The law of attraction and the concept of manifestation have garnered significant attention and popularity in recent years. These concepts hinge on the belief that thoughts, whether positive or negative, can influence one's life experiences. The law of attraction suggests that like attracts like, meaning that if you focus on positive thoughts, positive outcomes will manifest in your life, and conversely, negative thoughts will bring about negative experiences. The roots of the law of attraction is thought to be traced back to the early 19th century, with thinkers who emphasized mind over body type philosophies. The term itself was first used by American spiritualist Andrew Jackson Davis in 1855 in the context of spiritual beliefs concerning the human soul and the afterlife. However, it wasn't until the late 19th century that the law of attraction was explicitly articulated as a principle by Prentice Mulford. Mulford argued that thinking positive thoughts attracts positive things, which remains the core of the law of attraction. Throughout the 20th century, the law of attraction gained momentum, particularly through influential self-help books like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich in 1937. Though this work did not directly cite the law of attraction, it propagated the idea that one's mindset could significantly impact one's material and spiritual success. The law of attraction entered mainstream consciousness in the early 21st century, largely due to the success of the film and book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. The Secret popularized the law of attraction by presenting it as a form of esoteric knowledge that could lead to wealth, health, and happiness. This work suggests that by focusing on what you want, visualizing it, and maintaining a positive mindset, you can attract your desires into your life. The book and film became a cultural phenomenon, selling millions of copies worldwide and inspiring countless individuals to adopt manifestation practices. One of the key aspects emphasized by Byrne is the power of gratitude and visualization. According to The Secret, expressing gratitude for what you already have and vividly imagining your desired outcomes are essential practices for activating the law of attraction. These ideas resonate with many people who believe that they have experienced real-life benefits by following these principles. The law of attraction has had a profound impact on popular culture, particularly within the self-help industry. It has inspired a wide range of books, seminars, workshops, and online courses aimed at teaching individuals how to manifest their desires. Proponents of the law of attraction often cite personal anecdotes of success, claiming that by changing their mindset, they have attracted wealth, health, and fulfilling relationships. The Lesser Key of Solomon is a highly influential grimoire on demonology and the occult, compiled in the mid-17th century from various sources dating back at least several centuries earlier. This text, attributed to King Solomon, is a seminal work in Western esotericism and is primarily concerned with the summoning and control of spirits, both demonic and angelic. The Lesser Key of Solomon is rooted in a complex tradition of medieval and Renaissance magic, and possibly even magical traditions stretching back to antiquity. While it is traditionally attributed to King Solomon, further additions were noted have been made through earlier grimoires, Jewish and Christian mysticism, Christian demonology, and astrology. The Lesser Key of Solomon is divided into 5 distinct books, each dealing with different aspects of magic and spirit conjuration. The first and most well-known section, Ars Goetia, details the 72 demons that King Solomon supposedly bound and controlled. This section provides descriptions of each demon, their powers, their ranks, and how they can be summoned. The demons listed include well-known figures like Baal, Paimon, and Asmodeus. The Ars Theurgia Goetia deals with a different class of spirits, known as aerial spirits, and details complex rituals for summoning and controlling them. Unlike the demons of the Ars Goetia, these spirits are more ambiguous and are not necessarily evil. The spirits in this section are tied to specific directions on the compass, with various emperors, dukes, and princes ruling over them. The Ars Paulina is divided into 2 distinct parts. The first part deals with the 24 angels of the hours of the day, while the second part addresses the angels ruling over the degrees of the zodiac. It claims to be based on the teachings of Paul the Apostle and esoteric traditions developed by his followers in the millennia that followed. The Ars Almadel focuses on the summoning of angelic beings associated with specific regions of the heavens. The book describes the creation of a magical wax tablet, known as the Almadel, which is used to communicate with these angels. The final section, the Ars Notoria, is a collection of prayers and meditations designed to enhance the magician's memory and understanding. Unlike the other books, which focus on the summoning of spirits, the Ars Notoria is more concerned with the development of the practitioner's intellectual and spiritual abilities. Notably, this section has been omitted from many collections of this grimoire, which some conspiracy theorists speculate indicates a special power associated with this esoteric knowledge. The Lesser Key of Solomon has had a profound impact on the development of Western esotericism. It was notably edited and published by Aleister Crowley in the early 20th century. His edition, known as the Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon the King, helped to popularize the text among modern occultists and brought it to a wider audience. Crowley added his interpretations and modifications to the text, blending it with his own theories of magic and psychology. Also, you may have realized at this point that it's hard to overstate the influence of Aleister Crowley on modern occult practices. Alchemy represents an ancient tradition that spanned various cultures and time periods. Officially, it emerged as a proto scientific practice, blending elements of philosophy, spirituality, and early chemical knowledge. Alchemy's primary objectives included the transmutation of base metals into noble ones, particularly gold, the creation of the philosopher's stone, and the quest for immortality through the elixir of life. Despite being frequently dismissed in the modern era as mere pseudoscience, mainstream scholars accept that alchemy played a pivotal role in shaping the development of early modern science. The origins of alchemy can be traced back to the Greco-Roman world, where it was initially influenced by the philosophies of Plato and Aristotle. Aristotle, in particular, invented the theory of the four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. These elements were believed to be the fundamental building blocks of all matter. The concept that these elements could be manipulated to transform one substance into another was central to alchemical thought. This idea was further developed by alchemists in the Islamic world, who preserved and expanded upon the knowledge inherited from the Greeks. In the Islamic Golden Age, alchemy flourished as a scientific discipline, particularly in the areas associated with Iran and its cultural sphere. The Islamic alchemists were instrumental in preserving and translating Greek texts into Arabic, ensuring that this knowledge would later be transmitted back to medieval Europe. The practice of alchemy in medieval Europe was heavily influenced by the translations of Arabic texts into Latin during the 12th century, as well as the rediscovery of ancient Greek texts. This period saw the emergence of a distinct European alchemical tradition that combined elements of mysticism, Christianity, and emerging scientific thought. Alchemy in Europe was often shrouded in secrecy, with practitioners using cryptic symbols and allegorical language to protect their knowledge. The pursuit of the philosopher's stone, believed to be a substance that could turn base metals into gold and grant eternal life, became a central theme in European alchemical literature. One of the most influential figures in European alchemy was Paracelsus, a 16th century Swiss physician and alchemist who is credited with creating the field of toxicology. Paracelsus rejected the purely mystical aspects of alchemy and emphasized its practical applications in medicine, advocating for the use of minerals and other chemical substances to treat diseases. His work laid the foundation for modern pharmacology and toxicology. Alchemy's connection to astrology and cosmology also played a significant role in its development. Alchemists believed that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual human being, were interconnected, and that changes in the heavens could influence events on Earth. This belief led to the use of astrological symbols to represent metals and other substances in alchemical texts. For example, gold was associated with the sun, silver with the moon, and mercury with the planet Mercury. Alchemists often timed their experiments to coincide with specific astrological events, believing that this would enhance the efficacy of their work. In the early modern period, alchemy began to intersect more directly with the emerging scientific disciplines of chemistry, physics, and biology. Alchemists were among the first to conduct systematic experiments, record their results, and develop theories based on empirical evidence. Early modern scientific thinkers like Isaac Newton and Robert Boyle were deeply influenced by alchemical ideas and practices. Newton, for example, spent considerable time studying alchemy and believed that it held the key to understanding the fundamental laws of nature. And when someone of the intellectual capacity of Isaac Newton believes that it's a field that definitely requires more investigation, occultists may want to take notice. Despite its contributions to the development of modern science, alchemy eventually fell out of favor as the scientific revolution progressed. The rise of modern chemistry, with its emphasis on quantitative analysis, and the rejection of mystical explanations led to the marginalization of alchemical practices. The idea that alchemy is real and has been suppressed forms the basis of very long-standing theories about the way the world works. Proponents argue that alchemy was not just a symbolic or proto-scientific practice, but a powerful and effective discipline capable of potentially even bestowing immortality. According to this theory, the true secrets of alchemy have been deliberately hidden from the general public by a powerful few who wish to monopolize this knowledge for their own gain. One of the central tenets of this theory is the belief that occultists, including secret societies like the Freemasons or the Rosicrucians, possess ancient alchemical knowledge. This knowledge is thought to allow them to manipulate matter and extend their lives. If they are indeed able to extend their lives, according to this theory, they are able to continue to accrue influence for hundreds or perhaps even thousands of years. Given the compounding power of time, it's theorized that these groups have in essence accrued functional infinite clandestine power. Originating in the mid-15th century as playing cards in Europe, tarot cards evolved over time into a tool for spiritual guidance and fortune-telling, particularly from the late 18th century onwards. Today, they are widely associated with mystical and occult practices, serving as a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds. A typical tarot deck consists of 78 cards, which are divided into two main groups, the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana consists of 22 cards, each depicting significant life events, spiritual lessons, and archetypal energies. These cards are believed to hold the most profound and influential messages in a reading, often symbolizing major life transitions or spiritual insights. Some of the most well-known cards in this group include the Fool, the Magician, and the World, each carrying unique symbolism and meaning. The minor arcana, on the other hand, comprises 56 cards that are divided into 4 suits: wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. Each suit is associated with a different element and represents various aspects of daily life. The minor arcana cards are often seen as reflecting more mundane, yet still significant matters such as relationships, finances, and personal challenges. The belief in the powers of tarot cards is deeply rooted in their use for divination. Practitioners of tarot, known as tarot readers, use the cards to gain insight into the past, present, and potential future of an individual. The cards are shuffled and drawn in a specific spread, with each position in the spread representing different aspects of the individual's life. The reader then interprets the cards based on their positions, the images depicted, and the traditional meanings associated with each card. One of the most critical aspects of tarot reading is the role of intuition. While the cards have traditional meanings, the interpretation is highly subjective and relies heavily on the reader's intuitive abilities. A skilled tarot reader combines their understanding of the card's symbolism with their intuitive insights to provide guidance that is tailored to the individual's unique situation. The power of tarot cards, therefore, lies not just in the cards themselves, but in the connection between the reader and the person receiving the reading. The act of shuffling the deck and drawing the cards is seen as a way of aligning with the energies of the universe, allowing the reader to tap into a deeper level of consciousness. This process is believed to reveal truths that might not be apparent through ordinary means of understanding. Evidence for this includes the fact that statistically, no one will ever see the same tarot drawing twice, and thus every reading is entirely unique. Tarot cards are often viewed as tools for tapping into the subconscious mind and the collective unconscious, a concept popularized by Carl Jung. Jungian psychology suggests that the symbols and archetypes found in the tarot resonate with the universal human experience, making them powerful tools for self reflection and personal growth. For example, the Fool card, which represents new beginnings and potential, can be interpreted as an encouragement to embrace new opportunities without fear. Further, this card is generally regarded as a card of infinite potential. In addition to their psychological significance, tarot cards are also associated with esoteric traditions and occult practices. Some believe that the cards are connected to ancient wisdom from civilizations such as Egypt, or with Christian or Kabbalistic mystical traditions. Tarot cards are also used in rituals and magical practices, where they are believed to enhance the practitioner's connection to the spiritual realm. The symbolism within the cards is thought to carry specific energies that can be harnessed for various purposes, such as manifesting desires or protecting against negative influences. Count Saint-Germain, a mysterious European figure from the 18th century, has been the subject of intrigue for centuries due to his wide-ranging talents and elusive origins. Born either in 1691 or 1712, the Count remains an enigma. His true identity has never been definitively established. Some theories suggest he might have been the illegitimate son of Prince Francis Rákóczi of Transylvania, while others propose more unusual origins, linking him to ancient traditions. Saint-Germain's talents and knowledge spanned across multiple disciplines. He was well versed in languages, reportedly fluent in French, Italian, and German, and able to communicate in several others, such as English and Spanish. His proficiency in the arts was also remarkable. The Count was an accomplished violinist and composer, contributing to musical performances across Europe. His performances, combined with his flair for eccentricity, captivated European high society. Courtiers often described him as both entertaining and peculiar, noting his insightful conversations on philosophy and science. Beyond his musical abilities, Saint-Germain was also known for his expertise in alchemy, a pursuit that played into his larger-than-life reputation. He allegedly claimed to have discovered the secret to immortality, which led to further mythologizing of his character. These claims were reinforced by his seeming agelessness. Throughout his life, witnesses remarked that the Count appeared strikingly youthful, even as the years passed. His association with alchemy and the occult grew over time, with some later occultists identifying him as a spiritual master or even an immortal figure like Christian Rosenkreutz. One of the most notable periods in Saint-Germain's life was his time in the French court of King Louis XV. By 1748, he had earned the favor of the king, who employed him on secret diplomatic missions. Saint-Germain's apparent ability to navigate the complex world of international politics, combined with his scientific and alchemical pursuits, earned him a reputation as a man of mystery. Despite his secretive nature, he managed to gain the trust of influential figures, yet he always maintained an air of enigma, refusing to reveal his origins or even his real name. The Count's association with major European figures of his time only added to his mystique. He is mentioned in the memoirs of the infamous quote-unquote adventurer Giacomo Casanova, who described him as a captivating conversationalist, full of stories that seemed designed to astonish. Saint-Germain's connections were not limited to political and social elites. He was also linked to esoteric circles, particularly the burgeoning movements of mysticism and occultism. In later years, some occultists, such as those affiliated with the Theosophical Society, claimed that Saint-Germain was an ascended master. They stated that he was a being who had transcended human limitations and now worked for the spiritual advancement of humanity. This belief persisted well into the 20th century, where groups like the Saint-Germain Foundation continued to revere him. The foundation, founded in the 1930s, promoted the idea of Saint Germain as a spiritual guide who had mastered the secrets of the universe. Saint Germain's death in Germany in 1784 did little to quell the legends surrounding him. Some believe he faked his death and continued to live in secrecy, while others claim he truly discovered the key to eternal life and remains alive to this day. These myths have been perpetuated in various forms, from occult teachings to New Age spiritual movements, where he is often revered as a symbol of eternal wisdom and mystery. The Book of Abramelin is an important text within the tradition of Western esotericism, credited to a 15th century Jewish mystic named Abraham of Worms. This grimoire claims to impart profound mystical knowledge, primarily concerning the summoning of one's guardian angel, and outlines a detailed magical system rooted in Kabbalistic principles. The book is divided into 3 sections. The first part recounts Abraham of Worms' travels and his encounter with Abramelin, a wise Egyptian mage. Abraham describes the teachings he received from Abramelin, which form the foundation of the ritualistic practices in the book. Abramelin's wisdom emphasizes living a life of purity and devotion to God. This spiritual grounding is essential before one can successfully undertake the magical practices detailed in the following sections. The second book of the Book of Abramelin provides a rigorous ritual process known as the Abramelin operation. This operation is designed to establish direct contact with the practitioner's guardian angel, a spiritual entity meant to offer divine wisdom and guidance. This process is highly involved, demanding an extended period of preparation that can last from 6 to 18 months. During this time, practitioners must maintain celibacy, refrain from alcohol, engage in daily prayers, and adhere to a strict ethical code. The ritual culminates in invoking the guardian angel, after which the practitioner is believed to gain the ability to summon and command various spirits and demons without fear of reprisal. The third part of the book consists of the actual magical techniques and spells. A prominent feature of this section is the use of word squares, grid-like patterns of letters that form magical words or names. These word squares are designed for a variety of purposes, such as achieving invisibility, finding hidden treasures, or ensuring protection. Each square is linked to a specific goal and comes with instructions for its use. The focus on the guardian angel is a key feature of the Abramelin magic system. This spiritual entity is central to guiding the practitioner through the complexities of magical work, providing wisdom and protection. The concept of this guardian angel later became influential in other occult systems, most notably in Aleister Crowley's Thelema, where it plays a pivotal role. The book also carries a certain mystique, often described as a cursed text due to the warnings that accompany the rituals. Practitioners are cautioned that attempting the magic without proper preparation or with impure motives could result in dangerous consequences. If you like this video, please do me a huge favor and click like and subscribe, and also click the share button and send it to anyone who you think may enjoy it. Shout out to my patrons Iced Mocha, Kurt the Squirt, Monoxide Wendigo, Jeffer Metcalf, Z-Volts, Courtney Hammett, Out of Gray's Mind, Cap, Dionysus, Silba Rose, Franz Tech, Unknown Delusions, Faye, Jack Russell, Boomslang, Spookiest Becky, Vespertine, Metanova, Will Roan, Crab Nebula, and Blasphemous.